Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Art Is You podcast. I'm your host, Carly Scott, and today we are talking about being selfish and kind of just what that means. Is it really as bad as we are made to believe it is to be selfish? And is it really the best thing to be selfless? That's what we're going to talk about today. I feel like people are afraid to be seen as selfish, and it comes from this super good place of we care and we want other people to feel cared for by us, and we also want, of course, other people to see us as like a caring person. And so it can be really scary to sometimes start your own healing journey, like start a business, go after your dream, do something that's just for you, because we are so afraid to be seen as selfish. And I think that the reasoning behind that, while the intention might be good, is actually super harmful, because it is such a black and white way of looking at things. If being selfish is always bad and being selfless is always good, then you're going to get yourself into some sticky situations, because life is just not that simple and life is complicated. But like, think about someone in a toxic relationship. If they believe they always have to be selfless no matter what, then they are going to get really confused in a situation where they feel like it feels wrong to be selfless here, almost, because I'm like not taking care of myself, and this almost feels wrong, but I've been told like I have to be selfless, and so I guess I need to put my needs last and focus on meeting the needs of the other person above my own, or whatever, right? Like that can, be kind of toxic. So please do not live in black and white like that, because I did that for a long time. And you guys, I was so scared, and I still struggle with this, to like start my healing journey, to start my business, to start making choices for myself that were clearly just things that I wanted. And the people around me might not have really thought that that was like the right path for me, or the best path for me, or whatever. But if you decide to put yourself first and pursue the life that you want, to take the time to heal, even if that means pulling away from people and like hurting their feelings, honestly, like go back to that toxic relationship, right, where she's like stuck in it and she's like, I'm gonna be selfless because that's what I've been told, even though it feels like I'm kind of like, I'm not taking care of myself clearly, but I need to be selfless. This is where like being selfish is actually so healthy, you guys. Other people don't always know what you need. If your mental health is really struggling, if you are in a religion that does not align with who you are as a person to your core, if you are in a job that you don't love, or whatever it is, like, it is not bad to be selfish and choose what is authentic to you, and say no to people even if it hurts their feelings. I think it is bad. I think there are times where being selfish is wrong, obviously, or like being selfish is not the best choice. Maybe I should say that instead of wrong. I mean, again, life is complicated. It's not black and white, but there are obviously situations where someone could do something very selfish that hurts other people, or is destructive or something, right? So that kind of behavior is hurtful. So I guess here's here's how I'm going to try to compare it to the situation of like pulling away from relationships when you're on a healing journey because you're trying to heal and you're trying to separate from maybe environments that were unhealthy for you, or that taught you to think in an unhealthy way. People might feel hurt by you leaving, but that is different than like, say, you being selfish and like taking someone's meal. So you have 2 and they have none. Now they're hungry, you know, negatively took from that person. And I guess what I'm trying to say is you just removing yourself, you just removing you, or saying no. Like if you can't do something because you're sick, or you have your own life and your own responsibilities, or you're just tired and your mental health is bad, something is going on and you just need to say no. We're taught to believe that that's like selfish for some reason, but I mean, you could call it selfish, I guess, because it's focusing on yourself and meeting your needs. But is it really selfish to meet like our needs as people, like to be responsible for ourselves so other people don't have to be responsible for us? Like, it's almost more selfish to me if you're always putting yourself last and like never taking care of you. You're gonna become a problem for other people, unfortunately, not because you tried. That's what you're trying to avoid, right? Like, by being selfless, you're trying so hard to avoid becoming a problem for other people. It's the last thing you want. And so it's the scariest thing to choose yourself and start taking care of you because you think that's going to create a problem for other people. And other people might make you feel like you're creating a problem for them by removing your energy. Because if you used to give, and you didn't really have boundaries, you always kind of were like, okay, like I'll put that person first, even though like I'm hanging on by a thread right now or whatever it is. If you're so used to doing that, it's going to feel really scary to stop. And those people that are used to you always just kind of disregarding yourself for them, when you start regarding yourself and actually being like, no, I'm a person too, then they might feel hurt by that. But you are not going over to them and stealing their food. You are not going and taking their things. You are not going and messing with their life. You are simply removing yourself so you can take the space to focus on you, your healing, your dreams, your goals, your mental health, whatever it is that you need to take care of. And the reason this has been so helpful for me to realize is I don't think I would be able to stick with something like this if I didn't have this realization. I think the guilt tripping from people who are like wanting you to be that old version of yourself where you just give and never stand up for yourself, I would have given back into it just because I was so used to giving in, and just like the guilt tripping would work on me because I didn't know that I guess I didn't have anything to stand on because I hadn't taken the time to really go within and ask myself like what I believe and what I need, and like, am I valuable as a person enough to like stand up for myself and to have the life I want, instead of just being like, oh, like those people think I should be doing this. Okay, I guess I'll do that. Like, what? That was just me. Like, you know, let's be real here. As a kid, like, it was really intense if I did something wrong. And so I was like petrified. I was petrified. I was scared, like frozen in myself, of just like, you know, when the words get like caught in your throat and you can't speak, and it's just like, you're like, I seriously physically can't talk. I was petrified with like fear, you guys, of making choices for me, of saying no to people, of having boundaries. I was so scared of that. And so I would have given back into it if I hadn't like really taken time to honestly distance myself from people who made me feel like I needed to be that way in order to be around. And I also needed to listen to people who had gotten to the other side of it and who had learned how to be selfish, but it wasn't really selfish. It was almost like it was going against everything inside of them, just like it was for me. It was like they were like, I've been this selfless, or like trying to be this selfless person for my whole life because that's what I've been taught is good, and I want to be good. I want to be like a good person. I want to help people. So I feel like the only way I've been told to do that is to be selfless and put other people first. But as soon as I started listening to people who had done the work on themselves, and they were like, I promise you, like, I feel like they were like grabbing me and like shaking me, like, I promise you, if you focus on yourself and you take care of yourself, you will know, like, it's okay to do this. It's not selfish to take care of you and to like meet your own needs, okay? Take care of yourself, you guys. It is not, I mean, people might call it selfish. They might see you as selfish for taking care of yourself, but you don't have to feel selfish. Like, I heard someone the other day say, people say I'm full of myself, but like, what else am I supposed to be full of if not myself? Like, I'm me. Like, of course I'm going to be full of myself. Like, this is me. This is my life. You should be full of you too. And like, we should all want to take care of ourselves and have our needs met and not be so quick to, I mean, I don't think you should assume this at all, but I feel like people are so quick to assume other people should be selfless for them. And that's selfish to me. What's selfish to me is when you think other people should be selfless towards you, like they should abandon themselves to meet your needs. That's selfish, and that's like harmful in my opinion. But if you're just focused on yourself and doing things for you, that's not like directly harming anyone. Remember, they might have their feelings hurt because you removed yourself, but you're not going into their space and messing with them. You're not doing anything there. You just removed. Okay? And so they can guilt trip you. They can make you feel bad and guilty for focusing on you. But that is all they can do when you remove your energy. And that guilt tripping, you guys, like, it's hard. Like, it wants to pull you back. It wants to pull you back to be like that selfless person who's like, okay, I should actually abandon myself because it's hurting this person so much that I stopped abandoning myself. Like, maybe, I think guys understand this too probably, but girls, like, I just know you get it. I know you get it, that feeling of like, oh, like you just care for them so much. You're like, but they're hurting. I know it hurts me, but like I can handle it. Like, they're hurting. I need to like sacrifice myself again so they can be happy. And like, it's an inner battle, you guys. And so if you're able to distance yourself for long enough, and this could be people, but it also could be a job or just different things that make you feel like you have to like give yourself, abandon yourself to it. Otherwise you're like a bad person or something. Okay? If you struggle with that feeling, you're not alone, and you're not doing something wrong when those feelings start to come up. When you've made the choice to go on the healing journey, to invest in yourself, to try to and just improve your life and become the person that you want to become and that aligns with you. I got really passionate, you guys, and I lost my train of thought completely. Like, things are just coming out right now. I don't even have notes today. I just wanted to talk about this concept with you guys. But okay, I'm gonna try to bring myself back to what I was talking about. I guess essentially at the end of the day, I almost see it as selfish not to focus on yourself. not to meet your own needs, not to make sure you're good, your mental health is good, your physical health, all those things. Like, obviously we're not in complete control, and I'm not saying that like it's your full responsibility, you need to know how to solve your mental health and all that stuff. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like you just, like, you are allowed, and I hope that you choose to start investing in yourself and just getting to know, like, do you struggle with mental health? Do you have a certain area of your life that you are just longing to change? And get to know, just create space for that for yourself and get to know it. And it's a long process, but being willing to be seen as selfish, I feel like, is the thing that you're gonna have to get over to do this work. And it kind of comes back to the fear of being like perceived by others and other people having thoughts about what you're doing and how you're living your life. It's okay if you pouring into yourself to become a better person, that like, so you're able to enjoy your life more, so you're able to like live a happy, fulfilled life. If that is bothering other people and they're calling that selfish, I hope that you're able to start doing the work that I've been doing to get to a place in my mind where it no longer bothers me. Where it no longer bothers me if other people see that as selfish, because I understand the bigger picture. I understand the picture now, so I can see where they're coming from when they think I'm being selfish. And honestly, I guess the main hurt, I think, would be coming from just, if you have to remove your energy from certain environments or certain things that aren't healthy for you anymore, those people might be the people that are calling you selfish. And it's hard. It's a hard part of the process, you guys. And yeah, part of the reason I wanted to talk about this today is, again, like, this is sort of the beginning of me coming back to the podcast. And I really just want to encourage people to start some sort of process in their life. If you haven't already, a lot of you probably have already, and you're probably in the process of something like that. But if you haven't and you've been wanting to, because I know I was in that space for a long time of like, I had a lot of things that I wanted to go after or change or explore within myself or change about myself, understand, just so many things. And just taking that step to be like, I am going to go on a healing journey and try to like, at first for me it was like very mental health focused, but now it's just a very holistic, just everything. Like, I wanted to figure out like how to take care of myself and be a good person and all of those things. And what I'm realizing is being a good person is so much easier when you take care of yourself. If you are so depleted and like lacking in yourself, and this can be even if all of your physical needs are met and on the outside everything looks healthy and good and perfect even and put together, if you don't feel like you're not going to feel good in that perfect looking situation. This is something I'm realizing too, is that the way you look and the way you feel don't always match up. They don't. And like, that's very obvious, but like, it can be hard to remember that sometimes. And being selfish, choosing to focus on yourself, is choosing in a way to focus on how you feel, not in like a toxic way, but in a, I'm going to tune in and listen, and I'm going to let some of these feelings, some of these sensations kind of point me to maybe some things that I need to change. And yeah, I think that if more people started to really like listen to themselves and focus on taking care of them, even if that means making hard choices and doing hard things, like, you will be so proud of yourself for putting yourself first. And oh shoot, I realized I wrote something in my journal a long time, it was like a year ago. And I read it the other day because I was going back. I was like, I want to see where I was at a year ago, like what I was thinking. And I found this letter I wrote to myself from a year ago. And I don't have it with me, but maybe I'll read it in the next podcast episode. It was all about this like idea of like just how proud I am of myself for taking care of me and like for being willing to be selfish, to take care of myself, because, you know, the voices around me were essentially saying like, focus on me instead. And I chose myself for like the first time in my life of like, me, like, we got this, like, we are going to heal, like, we're gonna figure out how to do this thing. And I'm not perfect at all. Very, very far from it. It's not been a perfect journey. But I do feel like I have like my back in a way that I never have before, that just feels so good, like it's supposed to feel to be a person and to like have a connection with yourself. So I really want other people to know that's possible for them, because I didn't know it was possible for me to feel that way. And it started with being willing to be seen as selfish, which is such a scary thing if you're just a girl, you know? So I just, you know, those women that just are so selfless that you just want to see pour into themselves, and you want to see them like stand up for themselves and like just like really find their joy. Like you have to do it for yourself though. And what I'm realizing is if I ever wanted to like help those women, the only way I would possibly be able to help them to do that would be to like figure out how to do it, right? Like I would have to figure out how to do it for myself in order to even figure out how to teach someone. And what I'm learning by doing this podcast is it's actually really hard to like teach this stuff. It's hard to like explain the feelings I'm experiencing. So anyway, that's something I'm going to try to work on, because I do really want to help other people to be able to do similar things in their own life. So finding ways to explain it in a way that makes sense to people and they can apply it to themselves. I'm realizing that's trickier than I imagined, but I'm hoping this concept of like looking at selfishness and selflessness a little differently. And again, some moments where being selfless is so beautiful and like so it's not abandoning yourself, it's giving selflessly out of a place of love and like a place of overflow. Like I am a full person and I love myself, but I want to do this selfless thing for this other person. I think it's really unhealthy when you're in a bad place mentally, physically, you're struggling and someone else is like, you need to be selfless right now and meet my needs, like forget about you. Like, no, you are struggling and you deserve to focus on yourself and heal. Like you deserve that. Same with your dreams. If someone thinks it's selfish for you to go after the thing that you really want to do, it is your life at the end of the day. And I think it's more selfish to try to control someone else's life and what they do with their life and the choices they make than to just choose what you do with your own life. Like I don't see choosing what you do with your own life as super selfish, unless again, those selfish choices are going like to harm other people. Again, not by removing your energy, because that's, you know, they're hurt. Their feelings are hurt, which is so valid. But again, you're not like physically harming them or like, you know what I mean? Like you're not actually doing something to them. You're literally just removing your energy. And yeah, so if you've been scared to be selfish, yes, selfish is, you know, can be harmful, but I hope you see now that like some ways that people sometimes will like accuse someone of being selfish is actually just like really far from probably the reality of the situation. You know, that person could just be making their own choices for their life and doing the things that they really care about. And that might hurt some people's feelings, but it doesn't mean that they're being selfish by making their own life. And yeah, I feel like giving selflessness from a place of like choice and wanting to, and overflow again of just wanting to give because you feel like you are a whole person and your needs are met. Like, it is okay to want to have your needs met, but asking someone else to completely abandon their needs to meet yours, you maybe want to rethink that a little bit and figure out if there is a way that you can start trying to meet your own needs. And I've been working on this a lot. I told you guys in the first episode back that I was always looking outside of myself for like something to come and fix me or save me or whatever. And the reality is, like, learning to meet my own needs and to take care of myself is a lot better than like trying to find other people to meet them for you. And I think it's great when people can like come together and give out of a place of wanting to give, but not feeling like forced or obligated to give. Otherwise they'll be seen as a bad person, especially if they're not in a place to give, you know? Just some thoughts, just some banter, just some things to think about this week. I'm so curious if you guys agree, disagree, if you have thoughts, just let me know. I kind of just rambled, so I'm open to suggestions, but also I am curious, like, do you feel more empowered now to maybe make a choice that you previously were like afraid to be seen as selfish? Like, I don't know, I hope maybe you feel a little less afraid to do that. But I'll talk to you guys next week. Love you. Bye.